Hey everyone, Teenage Toasty here, and today I want to talk about the gameplay that I saw from the creators who attended Call of Duty Next in regards to Black Ops 7 Zombies, and talk about what I'm feeling about Ashes of the Damned right now. So these are just going to be my personal opinions based on the gameplay that I saw from Call of Duty Next, and it's also worth noting that Curse mode was not playable, Survival mode was not playable, and only a small subsection of the entire Ashes of the Damned map was playable, with a lot of the side features like side Easter eggs and main quest hunts turned off. With that being said, let's start with the things that I thought were great about the gameplay that I saw. There's actually a lot to go through here. So starting off is just the visuals and the aesthetic. A lot of the Black Ops 6 maps just felt like facilities. They looked like they could exist in the real world and were more grounded in reality and looked like they pulled a lot more from things that you might see in Warzone or in multiplayer. Whereas this Ashes of the Damned map really feels like it has its own identity. It couldn't be pulled from real life. It couldn't be pulled from multiplayer. It's definitely a lot more creative than the maps we've seen, I think, both in Black Ops 6 and in Black Ops Cold War. And its visual identity is really, really strong. And I think that's a fantastic thing. I think some of the new features in the map look really cool as well. They're doing things that are different to what we got in Black Ops 6. So for example, the portable pack-a-punch or the drivable car and the different areas in between the actual points of interest on the map that have a bit of a different style of gameplay and challenge. So I like that they're doing new things and experimenting with different styles of gameplay here as well. I also think the sound design in the map is fantastic. Guns sound really good. The guitar riffs between the round changes sound nice. The general sound design is strong, just like it was in Black Ops 6 and in Black Ops Cold War. On the topic of sound, I think the character quotes and the voice acting is all top-notch as well. The three returning voice actors for Richtofen, Dempsey, and Nikolai sound fantastic, and Nelson Lee I think is doing a fantastic job as Takeo from what I've heard so far. The gameplay systems they have in this map look very similar to Black Ops 6, which means some of those things are bad, but there are some good things about that as well, and I think just the general gunplay is one of those things. The guns look good, the animations look crisp, and it looks like there's enough gun variety here, which is nice to see as well. We've also now got to actually see a lot of those quality of life improvements that we heard about from the blog post. So for example, things like the visual redesign to ammo caches, the way that gobblegums work with spawning in power-ups, the fact that random perk drops can now spawn in the map, or the fact that both Tier 2 and Tier 3 armor can be bought from the same wall by location. These are all fantastic things, and it's nice to see them that these are actually happening in the map. I also think the special enemies look fantastic. So the Zersa looks awesome as a boss, as well as the Ravagers. They look very scary and fast, which is nice to see. There's enough enemy variety, and I think the redesign to the armor zombies also looks fantastic. Now, something that I'm kind of in the middle of is the HUD. The HUD looks like a multiplayer HUD, which isn't great, but we also do have confirmation that the HUD's going to be customizable, so you can remove and adjust elements as you wish, which is fantastic. And they also have said there's going to be a different HUD that's more in line with the classic zombie style HUD. So hopefully that comes true. We just haven't seen that yet, but I do hope it's good, and it is nice that they've promised that that option is going to be there at the launch of the game. So now let's move on to and talk about some of the bad things that I saw. There's not actually too many things in this section. It's just that the things that are here are kind of important and could be big deal breakers or things that really hamper the experience very strongly. The first thing being that this looks very similar to Black Ops 6. Black Ops 6 was kind of an iteration on what Cold War was, and now this is another iteration on that iteration. And the difference between Cold War and Black Ops 6 was small but noticeable, whereas this is now verging on barely noticeable. The gameplay systems look exactly the same. The HUD layout looks exactly the same. The way the systems in the game work with upgrades and salvage almost is exactly the same. So if you weren't a fan of the systems in Black Ops 6, you're not going to be a fan of the way the systems feel in this game either. Unfortunately, I'm not the biggest fan of Black Ops 6's gameplay systems. I really do prefer the more classic style of zombies. And so for me, this is one of the big negatives that we saw from this. To delve into this a little bit further, the main things I really don't like about this gameplay is the armor system, the rarity system, and the score streaks and salvage systems. I just think these are things that don't really belong in zombies. Treyarch has said, with some changes like increasing the cost of salvage to upgrade a weapon's rarity, that this is done so that players have more incentive to hit the box and buy wall weapons and attain higher rarity weapons in other ways. However, the fact that there are weapon rarities in general, and the fact that there's 3 tiers of Pack-a-Punch, meaning that your entire Pack-a-Punch cost is 50,000 points, just makes it really hard to want to change weapons in the middle of a match, and kind of makes you feel like you should just pick a weapon and stick to it and never change from that at all. And that's something that I don't feel like plays well in the zombies mode. So that's it for the big negatives from me. And I do want to talk about one thing that could fix a lot of those negatives, and that is the Curse mode. We haven't seen gameplay from Curse mode, so I can't talk about what I've seen, but from what we have heard, there's going to be Easter eggs enabled, and you're going to be able to obtain relics, which change the way the gameplay systems work. Now, we've already got confirmation that they're doing things that make the game harder. So, for example, removing the ammo caches and taking a 4 perk limit. What I want to see though is a couple relics that actually make the game easier in some respects, but return it to a more classic style of zombies. These two things are going to be that all the weapons should by default be orange rarity, and that Pack-a-Punching your gun once for 5,000 points puts it straight to tier 3 Pack-a-Punch. I think if you do these things, it'll make the game significantly more closer to how classic zombies used to play. In classic zombies, if you ran out of ammo because there weren't any ammo caches, you had to go hit the box for a new gun and then Pack-a-Punch it and use a different weapon. This incentivized a lot of experimentation, and it wasn't so bad if you needed to swap guns in the middle of a match at a high round. Because of the introduction of weapon rarities and multiple Pack-a-Punch tiers, it's really gotten rid of that ability to swap and change your builds in the middle of a match. If these relics are in cursed mode, and we have the ability to put them on in conjunction with things like the removal of ammo caches, the 4-perk limit, and things that make the game harder, I think this is going to be my preferred way to play the game, but unfortunately I have no confirmation of whether these relics even exist. But for the sake of the game mode, I really hope that they do, as I think these things are going to appease a lot of Zombies fans who've been looking for that more classic experience. And with that being said, that's all from me. I want to hear what you guys thought of the gameplay you saw from COD Next in the comments down below. And what's your overall take on how Black Ops 7 is feeling so far? Let me know in those comments down below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. See ya!